welcome to the Fantasy Football News. I am your host, Eric, as always, ready to deliver you that exceptional fantasy football content you have come to grow and love. Although this week it is going to be a bit short and a bit different than you are used to seeing. I do not have a special segment prepared or a commercial break prepared this week due to some time constraints on my end. Hopefully you can bear with me through this week, and we will move on starting next week's. Next week will be the final, if you all know, the final regular season version of the Fantasy Football News, as following that, we will move into the playoffs. The playoffs start Week 14 in both Outcast and Columbia River Fantasy Football, and the formats are largely the same, with the top two seeds moving through first-round byes, and the other four teams battling it out, with the two losers dropping into what we call the Toilet Bowl. Now, in the Sleeper app, the format that they show for the Toilet Bowl is not the format that we will use. The Sleeper format shows that the loser moves to the next round based on your win or your loss against whatever team you're playing. That is not actually the way it will be run in Columbia River. All 6 teams that are involved in the Toilet Bowl. So the 4 teams that don't make the playoffs, plus the 2 teams that lose in the first round of the playoffs, will have all of their points accumulated for week 15, 16, and 17 added up, and whoever has the most points will be the winner. So you're basically working to be the best of the worst at that point. And so that's how that playoff format will work. The 2 teams on bye will then face the 2 winners from those games, and that will determine your 4th place and third and 4th place game, and your 1st and 2nd place or championship game, as it were. And so good luck to everybody, especially me, as we enter into the playoffs. And speaking of playoffs, we can kind of go over what the scenarios look like. Mike did a pretty good write-up on Facebook for Outcast, and I also did a write-up on Facebook for the Sleeper League. But in case you don't use the social medias, we can go over those real quick. So for Outcast, let me pull it up real quick just so I know that I'm not talking out of turn on this. Of course, this is the day the old computer is going to give Eric some trouble. Why wouldn't this be the day, you know? Oh, let's go over here to this, just so I'll just read Mike's post to you so that I know that I'm not jerking anything up too bad for you all. Let's go down here. Where is it? That's the one. So the Outcast League, so 1 game left in the regular season. This content brought to you by Mike Frazier. And as I have said before, and I will say again, if you provide me with content in any form, whether that be audio, video, a text message, email, a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, smoke signals, semaphore, whatever you've got, send it to me, and I will ensure that it makes it here into the Fantasy Football News. This news is for all of us and should include all of us. So, from Mike, with only 1 game left in the Outcast regular season, 3 teams have been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs and are headed to the Toilet Bowl tournament: Saints for Life, Timinators, and Rebel Scum. In the championship playoffs, so on the other side of that bracket, Stars and Stripes and the Fantasy Football Team are the only 2 teams that have secured a playoff position. Both are 8-5 and in Division 2, meaning that either can still grab the division title and first round bye. So in Outcast and in Sleeper, division winner gets the first round bye regardless of records. So division winner in one division may have a worse record than the second place team in the other division, but that division winner will still get a first round bye, which isn't exactly how it works NFL wise, but division winners do get a home game in the NFL, regardless of record compared to other division second place finishers or whatever. So either can still grab the division title in the first round bye. The other will likely be no worse than the 4th seed. Mike has a 68-point edge in total points. So if there's a tie, Stars and Stripes will take the Division II crown. So most tiebreakers, or all tiebreakers, I should say, if after your record is points scored 4. So points 4 is the tiebreaker to decide on all of these. Let's see. Stars and Stripes Division 2. If both teams lose, so if both the fantasy football team and Stars and Stripes lose, Show Me Your Kittles or Team Sesh, who are both at 7 and 6, could in theory take the top spot. Spencer's 12 points behind Connor, and Jake is 50 points behind Spencer. Both would have a difficult time overtaking Stars and Stripes in points. Difficult, but not impossible. So the math exists, even if it is unlikely to happen. Over in Division 1, the Ballhawks and Mongo Mentality are tied at 7 and 6 for the division lead, with Robert having scored about 100 total points more than Andrew. If Robert wins, he is Division 1 champion. If they both lose, Robert will still be division champion based on the large lead he has in points scored. Robert does lead the entire league in points scored in Outcasts, so he will be in the playoffs regardless of whether he wins or loses. And generally, Andrew would have to outscore him by 100 points to take over, which again is improbable, but not totally impossible. Maybe Robert has some sort of aneurysm in the middle of the night and wakes up from a fever dream and benches all of his players, and Andrew takes the win, and Robert scores a fat 0. But weird things happen. In an interesting twist of fate, the 4 teams at 7 and 6 all play one of the other teams that are at 7 and 6 this week. Ballhawks will face the fantasy football team, while Mongo Mentality takes on Team Sesh. Randall Access Memory is the other team that has a very outside chance of making the playoffs. His chances are pretty slim because he has the fewest points scored than all of the other teams that are in front of him, so it would be very hard for him to break into those. But he needs to win before that even becomes a consideration. So in the Toilet Bowl, so the race for the top overall pick, Rebel Scum, Saints for Life, and Timinators are all sitting at 5 and 8. Amy has the most points of the three of us at 1443.55, and Tim and Eric's are less than 16 points apart. And all three of us are playing teams that are fighting for playoff positioning or to make the playoffs. So right now, the playoff standings as we enter Week 14 are in first place, Stars and Stripes, second place, Ballhawks, third place, the Fantasy Football Team, fourth place, Show Me Your Kittles, 5th place, Mongo Mentality, sixth place, Team Sesh. So those are the teams that are right now in the playoffs. As he said, Randall Access Memories has a shot, although it is a very slim one, of supplanting the 6th seed there, Team Sesh, possibly Mongo Mentality. Again, there's a lot of scenarios, and I didn't get very deep into the ifs and ands in there. And then Saints for Life, Timinators, and Rebel Scum have all been eliminated. But it was, Rebel Scum wasn't going to be in it, but the game this week for me was pretty good. I had a after Sunday, I had a 0.65 point lead. So just over a half a point lead, and Team Sesh had the old kicker left to go. And I've never rooted so hard against a kicker in my life. But he ended up, and actually he did shank his first field goal, so that was a point in the hole, and I'm like, woo! And then he made the point after on their first touchdown, and so he was back at 0, and I'm like, I'm sweating again. But then two field goals and I think 3 more point after touchdowns or 4 more point after touchdowns sealed the deal for me. Connor got the best of me there again, but that is what happens when you are in a full-on multi-year rebuild, which I am currently in. Moving over to Columbia River, we have slightly different scenarios. But I do believe 4 teams have locked in. Yeah, 4 teams are already locked into the playoffs. That is going to be Rebel Scum, Stars and Stripes, The Art of Dual Threat, and My Purdy Team have mathematically clinched a playoff spot. Rebel Scum and Stars and Stripes have clinched the division winner titles. So Rebel Scum will be the Hood or St. Helens. Crap, I can't even remember my own divisions. I could so easily just pull this up right now and know. So let's just do that. What the heck? It's not like you guys have things to do other than watch my pretty face on your television screen. What is this trash? Nobody asked for that. The sleeper guy has a Santa hat on now. Isn't that pretty? Let's see. League. There it is. All right, so yes, Rebel Scum currently leads the Hood Division and has mathematically clinched the Hood Division championship. Even though he plays the second place team this week in Week 14, the best that Art of Dual Threat could finish would be 9-5, while the worst that Rebel Scum can finish would be 10-4. So Rebel Scum has clinched the Hood Division championship, and Stars and Stripes has clinched the St. Helens Division championship. So congratulations to those two teams. Now, as far as seeding goes, though number one seed currently is Rebel Scum, as I have outscored Stars and Stripes by about 100 points. However, if I lose and Stars and Stripes wins, we're both sitting at 10-3. So if I lose and Stars and Stripes wins, then he will take the number one seed and I will take the number two seed. We'll still be division winners, but that does change the seeding somewhat, as it will then matter who we play in the second round of the playoffs. So as it stands, as everything stands now, the other two teams are Garbage Time and Sweet Nuts. So the Art of Dual Threat, My Purdy team, Garbage Time and Sweet Nuts, as things stand right now, will meet in the first round of the playoffs, and the current seedings as they stand would have My Purdy team playing Garbage Time and Sweet Nuts playing the Art of Dual Threat. And then the winner of My Purdy team and Garbage Time would face the number one seed, which is me right now, and the winner of Sweet Nuts Art of Dual Threat would face Stars and Stripes. Now, if if Stars and Stripes and Rebel Scum were to swap seeds, then it would be the other way around. Then Garbage Time and winner of Garbage Time, My Purdy team, would face Mike, and winner of Sweet Nuts Art of Dual Threat would face me. So there are some interesting scenarios that can still happen as far as seeding goes there. Now so Garbage Time has not technically clinched a playoff spot yet. If they win, they clinch regardless of any other results. If they win here in this week, they clinch regardless of any other results. However, if they lose and Killa MC wins, and they also outscore Garbage Time by 285 points. So again, mathematically very improbable, but not 100% impossible. Then Garbage Time could be popped out of the playoffs. Again, it's a very outside chance. The only one that has a shot at happening. So right now, that's 6th place Sweet Nuts and 7th place Killa MC. Those two teams are both at 6 and 7. If they both win, Sweet Nuts has outscored Killa MC by 197.1 points. So Sweet Nuts, if they're both tied up, Sweet Nuts likely gets that nod for that 6th spot. But if Killa MC wins and Sweet Nuts loses, then Killa MC is in regardless of points scored because he would have the better record. So there is a shot, a very legitimate shot for Killa MC to get into the playoffs still. So that bubble team right there is Sweet Nuts right now, could become Killa MC. We'll see how the weekend plays out for those two teams. I believe we've got Killa MC will be playing My Purdy team, and Sweet Nuts will be playing Stars and Stripes. So definitely an uphill battle as they're both playing teams that are locked into the playoffs already. So, good luck to both of them. However, to get into the playoffs, the only teams that have been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs are the Short Bus Superstars and the Generic Football Team. And man, what a match for Randy of the Generic Football Team, who was leading heading into Monday night by over 70 points. And then he was playing against Garbage Time, and Garbage Time had, I think he was playing Garbage. Yeah, he had to have been playing Garbage Time. They had, where did it go? Yeah, there it is. They had Trevor Lawrence, Jake Browning, and Jamar Chase left, and ended up winning that match by quite a lot, by almost 40 points. So not only made up a 70-point deficit. At the time, Sleeper gave Generic Football Team like a 96% chance to win, and Garbage Time still pulled the victory out with those three players. And as you know, even though he went out early, Trevor Lawrence still put up 38 points. Jake Browning put up 45 of his own, or Josh. I don't even know the guy's name, and does it matter? It is Jake Browning. I was right. Gosh dang it, got me in my head. But he put up 45 points, and of course, Jamar Chase also with 35 points of his own. So yeah, that was an interesting match, and I was actually sitting with Randy, kind of watching the end of that game, and it was Randy was already resigned. He's like, "No, there's no way I win. There's no way." And I'm like, "Dude, it's 96%. You got this." And he's like, "No, there's no way. I can't do it." And I'm like, "All right." And sure enough, he pulled out he snatched the defeat from the jaws of victory in that one. But yeah, it was a good match to watch. So those are your playoff scenarios. Again, Rebel Scum, Stars and Stripes, The Art of Dual Threat, and My Purdy Team locked into the playoffs. Garbage Time and Sweet Nuts are in control of their own fates. Garbage Time, if they win, they're locked in. And pretty much even if they lose, like silly stuff would have to happen for them not to get that seed. The only one that really is kind of up in the air right now is that 6th spot. Sweet Nuts currently holds it. Killa MC can take it with a win and a Sweet Nuts loss. So there is your real scenarios for the things that could happen. So good luck to both Marcus and Kip in that matchup, in their respective matchups. We'll see how it goes. That kind of does it for the news portion here. I did want to take a moment to thank everybody for their participation this year. It has been a good year as we approach the end of the regular season. I hope everybody's had some fun and got their trash talking and all their stuff that they wanted to do out. We do have the playoffs starting, and as you know, the playoffs are basically a one and done. The payout schedules are posted on the Facebook pages of either league. If you need to know payout information for whatever reason, you can get a hold of either myself or Commissioner Mike if you're unsure of what that looks like. But once the season is completely over, once the playoffs are finished and everything is done, I will calculate all of the payoffs. I'll send those to Mike so that he can double check them and make sure I did all my math correctly, and we will then either Venmo or Cash App or give you cash, those of you that earned money from the league. So good luck to all of you in those endeavors. The weekly contests for this week in Outcast League was wide receiver with the most receiving yards. Mongo Mentality won this week with Nico Collins recording 191 receiving yards. So congrats to Andrew. The Week 14 contest will be the starting kicker with the longest field goal made. And so good luck to everybody in that one. Over in Columbia River, the weekly contest was running back with the longest run from scrimmage, and the actual running back with the longest run in Week 13 was Tyquan Thornton of the New England Patriots. However, he was on waivers, so nobody had him. So the the longest starting running back on somebody's roster, the longest run was Jahmyr Gibbs on the Art of Dual Threats roster with a 36-yard scamper. So that then means that the Art of Dual Threat has now won. Oh, where is my thing? I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. And plus 1 from earlier in the season is 5 for him. But that's 4 in a row, and so that Commissioner's Bounty will roll into the final week. The Week 14 contest will be the longest passing play by a starting quarterback. If AJ wins that again, then he does not collect the Commissioner's Bounty. The commissioner's bounty will go uncollected for that final stretch. The commissioner's bounty, again, is just for a team that beats a team that's on a streak. And so that commissioner's bounty would go uncollected for the final stretch. And I might, if I remember, everybody help me, I will roll it into the week 1 contest for the 2024 season. But in the in the Columbia River League, the weekly contests have been kind of crazy this year. I've never really seen it work out this way. If you remember, I won the first 3 in a row before Mike beat me and took the bounty. Then the next week, so Mike wins week 4, then Art of Dual Threat won week 5. Then Mike started a 4-game streak, and then AJ, or Art of Dual Threat, beat him to collect a bounty, and then started his own now 4-game streak. So only 3 winners of weekly contests in Columbia River this year. It usually does not happen that way, and we'll see if we can get a 4th different winner here in week 14. So good luck to everybody in that, and that is going to be the Week 14 contest is Hail Mary Week, and that is going to be the longest passing play from scrimmage by a starting quarterback. So good luck to everybody in that one, and we'll see if that Commissioner's Bounty does get collected. That, I do believe, is going to do it for our fantasy football news this week. Again, I apologize for the shortened format and for not having a special segment or a commercial break or a musical guest for you guys this week. Just on some time constraints, I've got a lot of other stuff going on today especially, and actually throughout the week. But I do appreciate you guys, again, watching the Fantasy Football News. And once again, I am Eric, and here at Fantasy Football News, oh no, you know what? I got one more announcement. Sunday, don't forget this coming up Sunday, December 10th, is my final regular season football party. I always do a Super Bowl party. We're not counting that one yet. However, I do believe you all have seen the event invite on the Facebook page. No, this Sunday, December 10th, is Sunday Night Football as the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Cowboys of Dallas on Sunday Night Football, the 10th. And I am inviting folks over to watch the game and also to enjoy some barbecued ribs. I will be doing barbecued ribs on Sunday. You all are invited. Please drop me a comment, a Facebook message, or something to let me know. I am going out to purchase ribs today. I think that I should be good. I don't know how many of you intend to come, but I have a pretty good idea of who will come. So remember, you are all invited. I welcome you up. Watch a great game, on the 85 and 75 inch twin televisions here, and we will have a Sunday night football party this coming up Sunday, December 10th, Eagles Cowboys. So remember that. And also, remember, that is the end of our show, and here at Fantasy Football News, we're better than you. Have a great weekend, everybody.